From the 260 to the 469, welcome to another weekly recap of the DNFL. Thanks for tuning in again this week, guys. I have been a little under the weather this week, so we are going to try to get through this episode. If you want to ask me, Adam, how's the weather been this week? I really don't know. I've been cooped up in my house for most of the week, blowing my nose and hacking and hoping I don't hack like Nathaniel Hackett in this pod. But as I, yeah, as I'm looking outside right now, it's a little dreary, a little chilly. So we'll see what the day brings. What the day brings for me. We will see. I may rake some leaves later, but for the reason you all are here this week, the DNFL weekly recap, I thought I would go ahead and start with just honestly just looking at scores from last week, and then we will start a majority of our remaining time with a segment called The House Knows. It always knows. There'll be more to come on that in a bit, but let's go ahead and um, go and share the scores from last week. All right. This is actually this week, but maybe some early indicators of who will win, who needs a win. Jamar Chase getting Dave 55 points and Mark Andrews getting 18 points. I don't want to say Dave's going to win this week, but he's very far ahead right now. Let's go back to week 9. All right. Pup list. The pups are surging. Jalen Hurts with the most points for him. Sons of Hender, I think that's Caleb. Joey B, Joe Shiesty, Joey Ice, leading the way. Cayenne Pepper Hot Dog. Um, I don't know what that, maybe it's hot dog, but I kind of like Chase Brown. I've heard about him in the card world. He seems like a likable guy, but he had a pretty good game. I think that's Blake's team. And then former presidential, I can't read all these names. That's the bad part. But Garrett Wilson, should he have gotten more points for that Jordan brand catch? I'm wondering. Beating out Schroyer Farms, and then IU for college football playoff, winning against 1, 2, 3 Sheehan's X, like X marks a spot or EXX. I don't know, but let's go ahead and stop sharing the screen and get into a majority of today's segment titled The House Knows, It Always Knows. This was a segment pitched to me by Homie Mord. He helped out with a lot of the work. And I told him, Homie, if you and I were in college right now and we were doing a group project together, this is how this would have went. You would have done a lot of the work for me, which I appreciate because I don't have time to do a lot of this digging throughout the week. But I am like the presenter guy in the group project, and I am presenting the material. So thanks for your diligence on this, homie. Thanks for being a, as some might say in the fantasy world, a league winner. I need some more water because I can already tell I'm losing my voice. All right, let me move a couple things around real quick because we are going to go rapid fire right now. And I want to start with talking about the teams that have probably, because Homie ranked the teams for me in prediction of likelihood, I think, for a championship. So I'm going to start with the ones on the ladder rung, just in case something drastic happens the next couple of weeks. And then kind of just talk through those teams. I think that'll just be Easiest, and yeah, we'll go ahead and just do that. I'm moving a couple other things around. Granted, we don't do these super planned, but we will go ahead and jump right in. So, all right, the first team that we have to talk about today is going to be um it's going to be it's going to be actually Homie. Good for you, Homie. Let me Yeah, this is why like I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. I'm just going to read off my phone. That'll be easiest. At least have my notes to reference. Okay. So, we have Homie up first, and I think yeah, Homie has Jameer Gibbs. So we have Whit Johnson here. Um, so Homie's team, 65% probability to win the chip. The path to win the chip. Baker stays a top 5 quarterback. Devon Chain gets and stays on track. He did say Olave becomes a legit wide receiver 1. Um, I'm not sure what his injury status is right now. He may be concussed. Caleb would know more about that. How it would fall apart for Homie. Quarterback position becomes a liability. I think, too, something that Homie didn't mention. I think Tua's health is vital for Devon Chain to play well. Um, Too many vulture touchdowns by Montgomery and Raheem most hurt. Um, Olave and Devontae Smith, inconsistent production. Well, Olave's already hurt, so that is not looking great for Homie. Next up, we have once I can find him. I think we have Forrest, and Forrest has where is Tyreek? There he is. We have Forrest up. Forrest. It'd be, hey, are Goff and Sam Darnold going to keep putting up the points that they're putting up? Are Tank Dell, Brian Thomas Jr., or Rome Adunje going to be a legit wide receiver too? And Josh, does he still have? I don't think he has Josh Downs anymore. Who has Josh Downs? I don't know who has Josh Downs, but I don't know if Forrest dropped them. But that was on the list. Josh Downs is having a pretty good year. Um, where do things break down for Forrest? Again, it goes back to Tua. Is Tua going to be healthy? Who knows? Maybe the future of this league all hangs on Tua. And weak spot at the flex and QB position. Um, there's potential for Walker, Jacobs, and James Cook, to become top 10 running backs. Would that be a flex spot for Forrest? I don't know, but we will see. Matt, 30% probability. Forrest was 65% probability, by the way. Matt, 30% probability. The path. Let's look at Matt's team. Pup list. Pup list here. Dobbins and DeAndre I almost said DeAndre Stiff, like he stiffs people. Maybe he'll throw some stiff arms. But top 10 running backs. Oh, Matt has Josh Downs. Maybe him and Forrest traded. Maybe that's what happened. Nick Chubb ends up getting back to his former glory with his robotic leg. Honestly, a lot of I feel like Matt's team doing well may be predicated on Anthony Richardson not coming back and Joe Flacco being the quarterback. Um, yeah. I think he needs one of his wide receivers to step up and be a quality wide receiver number 2. How does it go wrong? Honestly, one of these things could go wrong, and Matt's not winning the chip this year, but I was rooting for Pup List a few weeks ago, wanting them to get, as they say, out of the pound, and the pups are out of the pound. They're out of the basement. Will they pull off a likable run? I don't know, but stay tuned in. We have Brian up next. One, two, two, three, three, three hot pockets. Um, Brian, Brian. Flacco ends up starting, and Pittman is relevant. He has a Brian has a 50% probability of winning the chip. He needs to find consistent wide receiver production. Will Devontae Adams be rejuvenated, being back with A-Raj? Um, the Kyle Pitts experiment. Kyle Pitts, is this finally his year? Does he become a top 5 tight end? Um, where does it go wrong? It's haunted this roster the whole year. The wide receiver and the flex spots. Debo, is Debo finally going to be healthy? Flacco, will Flacco help out Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman? Will Atlanta finally play up to the hype with their fantasy players, Kirk, Bijan, Kyle Pitts? Let's see what happens with Brian. And the last person, they told me when I pitched this idea to them, they said, leave me off the league ballot. Take me off so the right winner can get the right votes. And I told them, no, you're staying on the league ballot. This is not, as they would say, don't flag this as league disinformation. But we are going to talk about our last candidate, D. My Burgers and Fries, with a 10% chance of winning the league. McCaffrey, he's on IR, but he's coming back. He went to Germany where all of the really injured athletes go to, I don't know, they might get shots in their knees of who knows what, but he went to Germany and now he's back. He's healthy. Uh, but yeah, Dave is a team. I was looking at the standings that I think could cause some damage down the stretch. He's down 2 games now, but with 5 weeks left to play and 2 games down from a playoff spot, and with 5 weeks left to play and already having a big lead this week, it's possible. It's possible for Dave to come back. Could he be the Cinderella story? Could he be? After losing out on Stephon Diggs on auction and capturing Chris Thomas's injury curse from last year, could this be his year? What is the path? 10% chance. McCaffrey is McCaffrey from week 10 on. Mark Andrews becomes Mark Andrews again. Tua doesn't get any more concussions and scores 20 points consistently. DK Metcalf is healthy, and man, I need more water. I'm sorry. I'm okay. Sorry. DK Metcalf gets healthy and produces consistently. Honestly, Dave having D Hop was not mentioned. That's a big get with him going to the Chiefs from the time that homie wrote this for me. Um, Chuba Hubbard stays a workhorse when Brooks comes back. Romeo Dobbs becomes, does he not have Romeo Dobbs? No, he doesn't. I forget about him. Um, Najee, if he still likes Najee, is a top 10 running back. Um, really, Brian and Matt are Dave's competition to get that last playoff spot. Will it happen? Um, again, Homie had noted everything has to go right or else it goes wrong. Um, this is true, but do we take in consideration Dave's really good week this week? We don't want to pencil him in to be 1 game behind at this point, but could it happen? Could Dave come back? I don't know. But in order to find out, you are going to have to keep tuning in to the DNFL each and every week. Thanks for tuning in this week to the Week 9 recap. I hope to see you next week. I hope my voice is better. Yeah, keep your footballs inflated and not deflated, and have a good weekend. See you next week.